motherfucker?
Hold on, I hope y'all watching this shit.
First round, real quick.
But now we're gonna get a good. I thought he was a con artist. Just based off his looks. Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
Interview with the cat today. Yo. You hear me? You hear me good through? Yo.
All right, ready? What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo's Wrestling Room. We're voice of Indiana Independent Wrestling. Here on Friday, it's December 10th, 2021. I'm Chris Gonzalez. Got Steve Gonzalez here with me. Let me get this. All right. We got special guest, Big Whiskey Jared Kripke with us today.
One and only.
How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Been a busy day.
Appreciate you coming on and joining us, man.
Hey, no, anytime, man. I'm so thankful to be part of this.
Say something again.
Yo.
I'm not hearing you, dude.
I know. I was having trouble hearing myself.
I had to move a little closer. I was like, huh?
You want to check it?
Yeah.
You should be mic 2. Did I accidentally mute it or something?
Yeah, it's not picking that up. Should I try unmute mic 1?
Yeah. I took the wrong mic off the table, didn't I? That's my fault. I gave him a dead mic.
Sure, I muted the right one.
That's good, Red. It's good, Red. You know.
All right, there we go.
There.
That's
That's what I was.
There you go.
That sounds
makes
a
more
lot
sense. I was
better.
like, what'd you say?
No, I know you've been keeping busy in the wrestling world. How long have you been in the wrestling business?
I debuted, and I believe it was October 4th, 2015. So I've been doing it for 6 years now, going on 7. And it's I've been basically like the first little bit. It was maybe once or twice, 3 times a month, once a weekend. And then, but past few years, yeah, it's been multiple times a weekend, pretty much full time. Definitely keep busy, and I go from St. Louis to Michigan to Indianapolis to Bloomington to Louisville, and it's never usually a good loop. Usually it's Louisville to St. Louis to
Yeah, the longest it can be.
yeah. So a lot of driving, but yeah, this past year I got the AIWF Midwest Heavyweight Championship, and the AIWF is kind of like the modern day like NWA. They have all these affiliates all across the world. They got their traveling champions, so you don't have to be like at a specific company like traveling. And since that's what I like to do, I knew that's something I wanted. But since becoming that champion, I've had to really step it up even more so. So yeah, this past week, I believe I was in the car for 8 hours, and that's not that much. Usually, it's in the around 14 hours a weekend.
Man, that's a lot of travel.
Yeah, no doubt.
I couldn't do it years ago, maybe, but the way my body is now, it's hard on me to go for like an hour trip, let alone try to do something like that.
Dude, and after like a wrestling match, because I don't like just have little wrestling matches. I go hard,
Yeah.
So after my matches, I'm a little beat up and a little tired. And even if I win, I'm a little beat up and tired. So it's those 3-hour car rides. Like yesterday, I wrestled Star Rider on OVW TV down in Louisville. I got like,
Yeah.
a big old busted up lip and bloody like split nostril. Yeah, and so like
How'd that
car
happen?
riding, big old V trigger. He tried to he gave me the big old knee. To be fair, I did chop the crap out of him a couple times, you know. One chop, two chop, and I got a little cocky, you know, big whiskey, yeah. Bam. Big old knee right in the mustache. Yeah. Like if it wasn't for this thing, man, I don't know what I'd
Yeah,
probably be missing youth.
probably provided a little bit of cushion there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
The
real.
stash.
Yeah.
We always have a joke like when the UFC fighters fight, and if he always has an advantage if he has a beard because it absorbs half the punch.
Or you got like that, like the Chuck Norris bit on Family Guy where he's got a third fist, you know.
Did you go to like a school for training, or how did you get trained?
When I debuted, so when I was looking around, I was actually I wanted to go to a school, a real wrestling school. I didn't want to just like some backyard training. Like if I was gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, you know. And honestly, I got really really lucky. Because the two most like renowned schools around me were Ohio Valley Wrestling and then the School of Rock. So Billy Rock at the School of Rock turns out was in Lafayette where I lived, still do, Lafayette. So it was kind of a no-brainer, kind of basically a sign, you know. It's like, yep, this is what you should be doing. And so I went to the School of Rock with Billy Rock, and that was probably. Yeah, I can't think of a better trainer. I can't think of a better school. Can't think of a better like learning environment than the School of Rock was. Such a good group of guys. The curriculum was top notch. So professional, but we had fun at the same time. Like we paid our dues like during training. Like we did our training in negative, you know, probably 0 degree weather. And 100-degree weather as well. Like we didn't, you know, it was every Sunday for hours and hours, doing the card drill that Billy Rock always loves doing. Yeah, I'm sure you guys know that, the card drill.
Yeah.
Man, and then yeah, and it was in a storage unit. A big one, like double wide, but a big storage unit. But when it got cold, and when it got hot, it got hot.
Yeah.
So like, we definitely learned the big thing on the big thing posted on the side of the wall said respect, and I think that was the name of the show I debuted on. Even was the show of respect. So yeah, we learned that it wasn't just like respecting like him, because obviously he's the king of Indiana, I should respect him, but it was respecting the business. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to do this, fine, you could do it, but show the business some respect. Like people have died here, people have broken their necks here, people have lost houses. Like I've been divorced, lost a house, then the autobiography of every wrestler, you know. So it's one of those things. Like if you gotta respect the business, and so you know that's why you wipe your feet, that's why you shake hands, and
It's a tough schedule.
yeah, that's why you do the tough schedule. Yeah, that's why you show up even that's why you wrestle your match, even if it's outside and 20-degree weather, even if it's inside with no AC, you still got to do it. So. You know, we learned a lot there, and I'm really thankful for Billy. I don't get to talk too much, but I'm incredibly thankful for what my start with him.
I've heard nothing but good things about him. We've had a couple other guys on here that was trained by him too.
Who'd you have?
Jordan James.
Oh yeah, good guy.
And then
Really good guy.
Chris Owens.
See, I just wrestled him for this title. He's one of those guys that I think, like, if the right promoter, the right people, like got some eyes on him, he would be going places. Like he's jacked, he's got the look, and he can wrestle. I've been wrestling him since the NGW days back in Crawfordsville.
I'll get to see him for the first time next weekend.
Where at?
Lafayette.
Hey,
BMFX.
weird. I know somebody that's gonna be there too. Yeah, I am the BMFX Interstate Hoosier champion.
I knew I was going to get to see you this weekend. I didn't realize we were going to see you 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah,
Hey, that's even better.
Hell
Yeah. Well, hold on. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Ugh, I got props.
Hell
Ugh.
yeah.
Okay. Since you're gonna mention it, yeah, my home fed. This is like my company, BMFX. This is one of the. Yeah, this is their title. I'm their interstate Hoosier champion.
And which title's behind you? That the IA.
AIWF interweight. Sorry, AIWF Midwest Heavyweight Championship.
And that's like a territorial title.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like the territory. So all around, like you said, like I've defended it in St. Louis, Michigan, Louisville, or maybe not. Or I have plans on this Saturday or this Sunday against James Storm. Basically, anybody that's the best in the Midwest, if you want to claim that, you got to go through me. Like yeah. And then this is the Interstate Hoosier. It's kind of similar, like the Interstate, like all along 65, basically. They call it the I-65 title.
Okay.
So when I travel, most of the time it's on 65, Indianapolis, Bloomington, Louisville. So they made a title perfectly for me, No.
Yeah, we're going to Bloomington for the first time this weekend, and then we're going to Lafayette for BMFX for the first time next Saturday. So
you're gonna love both of them, man. You're gonna love it. Yeah, BMFX is top notch. Almost all of their shows too. Actually, I think all of their shows are for charity.
that's even better.
I hold on. I need to know this one, so I'll look it up while I'm talking. But all of their shows are for charity. We've done them for this is my cat. And I'm an animal lover, and a lot of our shows have been for the different humane societies and animal shelters in Lafayette and the local area. This one is a Toys for Tots event.
Okay, yep.
So and we partner with Phoenix Paramedics and Operation Homefront. So like I said, this one's Toys for Tots, Christmas stuff, of course. But yeah, a lot of times it's for animals. We've done stuff for the homeless. So it's good company, good cause. But we also bring in like Eric Dillinger, our main champion, because yeah,
watch it.
The only person to beat me in Lafayette is Nate Matthews, and I'm sure you've heard of him.
Yeah, he's gonna come on the show. I reached out to him, but we're working on getting a time set up.
I beat him here. You heard
we
that?
Might let him on the show. We might let him on here.
I reached out to Dillinger too, but I haven't heard anything back yet.
He's give him a month. I don't want to give away his business, but yeah, give him a month, and then he'll probably have some more free time.
That's what I figured. A lot of people are busy around this time of the year too. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, like he is one of those top. I call him top shelf because big whiskey. But he's one of those top shelf talents, top notch talents, and he is amazing. He is going to be going places. And we've had him, Sage Phillips, who else we have? Aaron Atlas.
he was on the show earlier this week.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's got a lot of people behind him. Like I think that's one of the things you need in this business. Like of course he has the talent, but like he's got the right people in the right places. Like he's a good kid. That just shows how good of a guy he is. Like you don't become friends with people just by being a good wrestler. He's a good guy. So I'm excited to see where he goes in the business. And who else? School of Rock Boys, of course, Dale Patricks and all that. Ace Perry, Brett Havoc. Oh gosh, he's one of Lafayette's big names there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should bring Brett Havoc in. He'd be fun to have. I'm sure he's got lots of stories. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll have to reach out to him. Who else is on? Dex Royal's on that card. Okay, man, there's a bunch of people on that card.
So him and I defended this title against him. I believe it was in August or September. I think it was the one right after that. I had a WWE tryout in July, and then Dex had his big Las Vegas tryout. I think that was in August.
Yep.
And then him and I had our match together, so it was like life life is like that's the best part about pro wrestling. It's real. Like that's the real like we literally like you couldn't have written a better story. You couldn't have planned that. So
Yeah.
like I defended my two WWE trial guys defending them. Defending so.
I'd like to see that. That'd been good.
Yeah, it was a good match too. He's one tough son of a gun. That's for sure. Let's see. He's been killing it in Indianapolis. Got a lot of fans behind him too.
Yeah, we go down to that WCWO sometimes and watch.
We've seen
Joey
Dexter.
Owens.
Yep.
Oof, man.
I seen you just had a match with him.
I was gonna say I watched your guys' match from the cup or what was it last week or the week before?
He chop you up.
Hey, he got me at the first show we done commentary for. It was at DCCW here in Muncie, and after the show, there was another podcast show there too, and one of their guys got in the ring and Max Sterling chopped him, and it was it was like it was a chop. Well, they start calling me out. The guy that ran DCCW starts calling our podcast out. Well, he hides. He takes off.
They ain't chopping me, bro.
And our the cameraman, he kind of took off. So I walked down there thinking I was going to get chopped once. Next thing I know, first person that chopped me was Dex Royal. then JKO gets me.
Ah!
And then Max Sterling got me. So I got dude, I was bruised for like a week. I had an imprint on it for like a week.
They didn't hold back either, man.
Oh,
I mean, they gave him their best chop.
There's video of it on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
Gosh, so yeah, get a gift of that going. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, dude, they lined up for Chris, man.
Yeah, that's your birthday. Like, was it your birthday or something?
No. But
That was like our first show, so we were getting broke in, I think.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, JKO can chop.
Joey, is it?
He can.
Yeah, JKO.
Oh yeah, he can chop. Whew.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
we got a little chop off in our match on Saturday, and I literally when my match with Star Rider yesterday, he stomped me a couple times in the chest, and I still had open wounds from chops from Joey.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He takes
great
pride in
guy.
it.
Yeah, I've learned so much from him in and out of the ring. Basically, he's like, I think his dad trained my trainer, so like cousins, grandpa in the wrestling industry, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, like he's I learned a lot from him, but those hands, yeah, I wish I would have learned a little less from that.
Oh,
Yeah, he got me good. Yeah, I'm gonna set this out. Yeah, he got me good.
Oh, after you got done with your training, did you have like a home organization you was with, or have you always just traveled?
So right after I stopped, or after we got done training, I debuted against Scotty Young, tough guy too. No, Scotty Young, really great wrestler. Debuted against him. The School of Rock kind of started to. Billy decided to retire, so we did a Last Hurrah thing with a Ring of Champions, is what we called it. So kind of like a YouTube channel or YouTube show, kind of a mixture of that, Beyond Wrestling and Ring of Honor, PWG kind of stuff.
Okay.
I did a lot of that, like tapings at the School of Rock. Then I wrestled for NGW, New Generation Wrestling. That was in Crawfordsville and Lebanon. That's where I just wrestled Joey. Actually, I usually try to wrestle there. Show that I haven't forgotten where I came from. I usually try to wrestle there as much as I can, too. But that was Lebanon, Crawfordsville area. That was where I started. That's where I decided to make this a thing. If nobody cheered for me, maybe I would have just did the bit and one and done. Who knows? But yeah, I love it. But it's the support that I got there that really just like, okay, I think I can do this. That's where I got my first ever championship too. Took me about a little bit less than a year. I teamed with a guy named Jay Maddox. We haven't heard from him too much in a little while, but in the late 2000s he was, and in the early 2010s, good guy. I know he's happy, but yeah, in the wrestling industry, we miss you, buddy. Miss you, Jay.
I was gonna say that name sounded familiar.
Exactly. As I say, you probably heard about him. He's a good guy. I just haven't heard about him in a while. I hope he's doing all right, and hope that, like I said, the wrestling industry definitely misses him. We always know NGW's there if he's around. So, but that's where I got my first tag team title, first time, ever. That's where I first wrestled Austin Fury, one of my best friends. That's when him and I decided, okay, we can actually have real matches. We don't just have to, play by the rules. And so him and I, whenever we got a chance, we added some good. That's when him and I started having some barn burners. So after NGW, I followed him over to Acme Championship Wrestling. That was in the region here in Indiana, they call it.
Yep.
Demont, Roselawn, Fair Oaks, like that area. Um, that's where I won my first ever singles title. I was their intercontinental, intercompany, IC. I was their IC champion for a long time, and this guy named Michael Allen. He really wanted to build a division of like kind of like an X division style wrestlers, and because that company it was a little like a old school in a good way, old school in a good way. Midwest Indiana company, but he wanted something to stand out. So I was like, I'm your guy. So he put a lot of trust in me, and I ended up winning their Intercontinental title, and I kind of turned that into their X Division IC title. Had some crazy matches with Excalibur, Xavier Black, Austin Fury again. Oh no, I'm missing some. TK0, Dakota Prodigy, Missy Buddy. Yeah, and then while I was doing that, I got some shout outs from New Era Wrestling, and that was in Shelbyville with Hillbilly Jed. Man, some great guy there. Me and Crimson Dynamo teamed up we were the Crimson Dragons.
Okay.
Because I was the bearded dragon, the bearded dragon, he's the Crimson Dynamo. So we were the Crimson Dragons, and for all you Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there, yes, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Big, playing card, trading card guy. We ended up winning the tag titles on our debut match, I believe, and then I think we lost them to Gingerverse, and then won them back, and then lost them to Legendary. So like two of the best tag teams going at that time. Like so.
Yeah.
In fact, you kind of look like him, buddy. Yeah, the Gingerverse.
Oh yeah, man.
Is that Mark Vandy over there?
Hey.
But yeah. So that was fun. We had a fun ride there. Me and Crimson Dynamo had a fun ride. But I had a lot of single stuff going on with that IC title, and then Evolution Championship Wrestling down up in Logansport. So yeah, like I said, already traveling around. Yeah, so up in Logansport, they decided to do the same thing. They wanted an X division, so they got me up in there, and I cruiserweighted it up and changed the style a little bit there at that company, and had some really fun matches with Cody Lee. He just had another one with him recently. That guy is tough. He can kick really hard. But Cody Lee, Rick Vidal. That was a lot of fun. That was Logansport. So Crawfordsville, Lebanon, Logansport, and a little bit of Lafayette. And then Shelbyville. Yeah. So that's all kind of my first couple years. Then I heard somebody on a podcast said, "Hey, you need to branch out. You need to stay out of your 45-mile club." It's kind of what they call it back in the 45-mile club. No offense to anybody that does that, and that's like I said, if you're making if that's where you make your money, if that's like I said, that's completely okay. But for what I wanted to do, my goals, I wanted to be a traveling wrestler. I wanted to everywhere. Yeah. So I decided that's when I was going to branch out, and I got up in South Bend. I got up at South Bend and Pro Wrestling King, up in with Eric King, a really great guy. So with his company, I got to go to Illinois, Michigan. I got to network with some guys. Because of that company, I was over in St. Louis, in Ohio. So I got to travel so much thanks to Eric and Pro Wrestling King, and that was a lot of great experience. Excursion. That was my excursion period. Like if we're using the New Japan terminology.
How
Yeah, that's
important do
something-
you how important do you think like networking is for an up and coming wrestler and like traveling places?
So networking 100%.
Froze up.
Might be losing them.
He'll come back here in a second.
Yeah, we'll get him back.
Having a difficulty here.
I've made him speechless with that question. You don't even.
There he is.
You got me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what you got where you heard off, but yeah, networking is super, super, super important. Like it's probably more important than it's. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't want to like crush anybody's like dreams or anything, but like it is about who you know more than what you do. You know, like not to every degree, but it is important. It is really important who you know. Like you have to do the right things. You can't be. You got to look the part. You got to be the part. But right place, right time. And that is, yeah. So if you put yourself in a place where big names or good promoters, large crowds, you know, if you're constantly putting yourself in those positions, surely one's gonna work, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why like the getting out of that 45-mile club. That's why it's important, not because of like, you know, this is like, you know, the 45-mile like that's not you're never gonna make. It's not about that. It's there's more opportunity. Like there's just so much. You know, the farther out you get, I'd say that's really important. But I did a lot of. I learned a little bit from that. I did a lot of one-offs, is kind of what I called it, one-offs. I'd go here for one show, here for one show. How much networking do you think I actually did with them seeing my face for, you know, when because wrestling shows are 100 miles an hour, like, the promoter saw me for 10 minutes once, like.
Yeah, so you really didn't he didn't get to know you or anything. He just.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like getting out there, but try and do it maybe at least 2 or 3 times, not just the one-offs. Is kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, I learned a lot from that because I'd be in front of the right people, but they had 100 things going on, so it was really slim chance that they would remember me. Like even if I do something really cool that stands out, everybody's trying to do that. So yeah, it's yeah.
And probably if they see you do it more, if they see you there more than once, and to get to see you do it more than once, they know that you're consistent and that
it wasn't just an accident. Like, that cool thing he did wasn't just like an accident, or it wasn't just the guy I was dancing with. Like, no, it was me. Yeah. Yeah. So so networking is important, but also like, you know, get out there. You can travel around. That's yeah.
So what was probably like the favorite match or most important match you've been a part of in your mind?
See, most important, let's see, oh gosh, there's so many different ways to answer that. I'd say career-wise, like, I'll keep going with like that, like right after the Pro Wrestling King era, my excursion area. And so it's when I kind of dropped a lot of those singles titles I had. I had a match with Madman Fulton. I finally got my name match, is what you call it, the name. I got to wrestle a name. Madman Fulton, that was at MPG Wrestling. And I think that was kind of the big career turner for me. Because I wrestled him. We had a really good match. I didn't just get, like, I'm 180 pounds. So I'm 6 foot, but I'm 180 pounds. So most of the time, like, you know, get beat up a lot. Like I held my own with Madman Fulton. I held my own, and the crowd was into it. I ended up beating him, and 1, 2, 3 right in the middle of the ring. And I'd say that was probably the biggest like career turner in my head, because the confidence level of me as a performer, the promoter willing to invest in me, like the level just went up. Like they showed that I was able to show that I could hang with a guy. Like I was allowed to hang, and I was given an opportunity to hang. And so I think that was probably one of the most career change, most important ones. Like my favorite match of all time is against Austin Fury, my buddy that passed away there in September. And I'm not just saying that. Like I'd say that before he passed away too. Like legitimately, like him and I had my favorite matches of all time. There was one in BMFX. There was a really good one. There was a 2 out of 3 falls of BMFX. Previously, I would have said those. Classic heel babyface matches. Like I'm the hometown hero, heel or babyface is heck. He's classic heel. Well, we go to a show in Lake Station, Indiana, for Crash Tested Wrestling. Him and I are first time there. Nobody's met us, nobody's seen us. The promoters talked to us once, like, nobody knows us, nobody in the crowd. So we show up. Austin's music hits. He comes out. He is just furious, dude. And I was, I'm Austin Fury thing. Yelling at the.
Damn it.
That's all. Sometimes Zoom does that, man.
It's part of the game, man. Damn it.
He'll be back. We'll get him back here in just a second.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I saw your face is not moving, so I'm like, oh, 1 second. But yeah, he goes out. The crowd is kind of, who's this guy? He yells at him for a couple seconds, goes to the back, comes back out, yells at him even more. The crowd at that point is just livid. They're like, we thought we got rid of this guy. And it is livid, so they're just giving it to him. I'm in the back just cheering because I don't have to do anything now. Man. Sure enough, when my music hit, crowd's going wild. They're like, yes, beat this guy up, please. And then we lock up. We don't even do anything. We just lock up. Don't do anything. We're collar and elbow tie up for 5 minutes or so. No joke. Crowd is into it. We're brawling through the crowd, like just barreling over chairs and children, toppling over water bottles. With the collar and elbow tie up, about to get counted out. We'll go back into the ring. Like the crowd's already cheering, So we literally did nothing but a collar and elbow tie up, and the crowd was loving it, man.
Hell yeah.
I couldn't do that with anybody at the time, with anybody else besides Austin. And so and then after that, we had a really good match too, as well. So I think that one is probably my favorites, for sure. Hopefully, it's match of the year, and to me, it's one of my matches of all time because you can. And then afterwards, even I won. Well, he's still kind of walking towards the back. I give him a nice little super kick, a little kick right in the face. So the crowd wanted to see more, so we even set up for the next month. You couldn't have written it better from a promoter standpoint. Babyface heel, and then he set up more, give him one more for later. So yeah, he was professional as heck, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because when you can have a storyline like that, it makes it so much better.
So much better.
The funny little tangent. Our last match ever was about the one a few months after that. Was in Martinsville. Complete opposite. Big whiskey. I am just ticked off. I'm teaming with Southern Discomfort. I feuded. I neglected my own tag team that I started was the Euchre Club. Yeah. Me and Austin Fury started the Euchre Club. Well, me and Excalibur, the Euchre Club faction. I got injured, and so Excalibur replaced me. So I go, well, I don't like that, and so I joined Southern Discomfort. I'm Big Whiskey now, and I beat the crap out of Excalibur. Austin Fury comes in, makes his debut for this company. Never been in Martinsville before, never in this company, never seen the crowd's never seen him. I'm the big bad guy. He's the big baby face, and by the end of it, oh man, he's bloody because I busted his nose. Yeah, he's bloody, and I'm bloody. I'm bleeding out the side of my face because he busted my ear. Receipts. And we just the match itself was really good, but it was just the complete role reversal, and I'm just so proud of that. She like it's literally like wrestling 101. Go watch those two matches back to back if you want not you because you guys are finding like new. So anybody that wants to like watch like what's a baby face heel match? What should it look like? Those two matches.
Hell
Yeah, and there's blood in there too, so it's fun.
You enjoy playing the heel more or the baby face?
Oh, I'd say the baby face, and that's probably gonna be what a lot of people don't say. If I'm honest with
Yeah,
you.
that's
Like,
what I was gonna say. Not many people ever say
No,
that.
but yeah, about everybody has said Hill.
I like it though.
Yeah, I really think I mean it's fun playing the heel, and like I get a lot of my real aggression, and I get to say what I mean a little bit more.
Yeah, it would almost be easier just because it's like
Well,
everyone's
that's
got-
why most people say it's
Right.
easier to be the Hill than it is the baby face.
But it's true. But that's why I don't. That's why I like being a babyface because it's harder. Like it's hard to get people to get behind you, and when you do, like in that Austin Fury match, the crash tested one at Lake Station, the first one I talked about.
Yeah.
He's choking me out on the ropes. I'm reaching out like Ricky Morton, going, there's a little girl, and you can see it in the video, a little girl and a little boy in the video, going, oh no, like you're choking her boy, and I'm reaching out, and the little girl goes going. And her brother just can't resist. He gets up off his seat. He comes out and he holds my hand as I'm getting choked by Austin.
Damn.
Like, yeah. It looks like he got stuck, frozen up. But that is just that's peak baby face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Same
froze.
on our
We
end.
can hear you, but you're froze up. Up there you go.
There we go. Hell yeah.
But like that's like like it's like getting like a grandma to if you're a bad guy, that's like getting like a grandma to swing on you. That's I got him.
Yeah.
But as a baby face, that's I got him. Like oh man, so stuff like that. Like I've getting of course the merchandise sales. As a baby face is a lot better, but
Right.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah,
Marcus Fine just made a comment on here. He said that you're a better face.
oh man, yeah. I mean, Mark, he's seen me both, so yeah. I guess I'll take his word for it. Because usually when people say that, it's only because they've only seen me one or the other. Okay, all right, I'll take his word for it. But, yeah, that underdog babyface sympathy, Billy Rock really, he taught me what not to do. That's for sure. Because when I was in training, I would just be so bad. I would be so generic and gross. He would go, don't do that. Like, what if you talk during this, because I would go like kind of narrate my own matches. Oh, he would he would he would tell me what I was doing wrong, like in a good way. Like he would really like, no, that is not how you do it. So then I learned how to do it from Billy Rock as well, like watching his matches and then talking to him. Oh man, yeah. So he's a big inspiration for my babyface style, babyface fire, but without being too generic. And I try to be like '80s Sting, but now a little less face paint, more facial hair.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But big whiskey, man, it's hard not to get a little stank on it.
You mentioned earlier that like you started that, you became that champion. They started that X division. Then there was another promotion wanted to start X division. Does that happen a lot where you like somebody will see a promoter doing something over here and then let's bring that into ours?
It's really funny you mentioned that. Yeah, because I'm looking at my like a list now because yeah, it happens kind of often. Like because I'm not blowing smoke up my butt, but like I purposely try to have like a different style match than the rest of the card, or I try to stand out.
Yeah.
So when a promoter's watching a show, they go, "Oh, that's stand out. I want that on my show." And like I said, it's not just me; it's usually people I'm wrestling too. But I've been the inaugural champion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, So yeah, 5 times. Been the inaugural champion 5 times. And a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times that's because they saw me succeed at this role in another company, and they go, okay, let's do that here. I mean, this is the best guy to do it. Let's have him do what he was doing here with our name, with our title. So yeah, like, and I mean, that's pretty smart. Like that's what the big boys are doing.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not no name, and like I said, I'm still green in this business. I'm not blowing smoke up my butt, but that actually is how it's worked out a few times. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So out of go ahead.
I was like, especially with the cruiserweight stuff, and then like the traveling champion stuff, like that seems to be a reoccurring role. Like, if you want your title to be respectfully defended, and like I said, it was again with somebody you could trust anywhere, like a traveling champion as somebody. And if you want a match that can stand out with anybody else in the card, you want to have a match that can stand out always and against even somebody that's green or whatever. That's me too. So that's the I see. So those are the two reoccurring roles I seem to be playing.
Out of all the championships and titles that you've won, which one do you feel like was like the most important or the favorite one that you won?
The most important was probably the AIWF World Cruiserweight Championship. I mean, because it's a world title. Because in the Indies, like, you saw my interstate user, it has like it's the world title, and that's the world. Everybody's the PWK World Champion. Like, everybody calls their company champion the world champion, but AIWF with their titles being traveling around and defended for 20 plus years now, a few of them are actually real world titles, like being defended in Canada, Mexico, Europe, all Asia. So I'm not 100% sure on the specifics, but the AIWF World Cruiserweight Championship is a legit world title. And I got to win it for a little bit back in February this year. Oh wow, that was just this year. It's been a big year. Yeah. After that is when I got the OVW call, and then WWE, Impact, all these other titles, this title. So, man, it's been a big year. But probably the World Cruiserweight title was big validation. Big validation.
What kind of experience was the WWE tryout?
Trying to think. I mean, with the Fed talk, it's always like, what am I allowed to say?
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, but like I said, I'm nobody. Like, it's not like I'm. I mean, in comparison to the guys they're talking to. So, nothing, no backstage stuff or anything. But it was a really good learning experience. It was at the Performance Center. And it was mainly for refereeing, if I'm honest with you. So so I got to learn a lot I got to work with a lot of the NXT talent, and I got to get some good advice for some main roster talent as well. They were there watching, and so it was a really good learning thing. It's hard, it was a really good learning experience from there, and like, the timing was a little off, just with everything going on with the cold corporate restructuring. If it was a few months earlier, things may have been a little different. A few months later, a few weeks later, a few days later, it probably wouldn't have even happened. So I am very lucky and very grateful for the opportunity for that. And it was the doors, as far as I know, the door's still open. I never got a no, never got a yes. So I'm hoping that I'm putting the work in elsewhere, and I'm hoping that I bulk up a little bit too. I'm putting the work in, and whenever they need me for anything, I'm just a call away.
I know you've been busy because I see you wrestling. It's like every different promotion I see. It's like Kripke's there. Like,
learn some. Y'all young dudes need to learn from that, man. For real.
Oh yeah.
The grind is real.
As a has social media made it easier for independent wrestlers?
But sorry, what were you saying?
I said, did the social media make it easier for the independent wrestlers, like to get your guys' name out there and like how you can? There's video all over the internet now, and
Yes. It's very toxic. I'll start off. Social media is very toxic. Like Facebook, Twitter. I'm not even on Twitter for that reason. It is just too much. Facebook, I can kind of combat it, like pretty easily. But yeah, Twitter, Instagram, I'm on there minimally, but like it is very helpful. It has helped a ton of people. So maybe like if you pick a platform that works for you, I mean, it's hard to do them all. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you find a couple platforms that work for you, uh, it is so helpful. I found YouTube and Facebook with a little bit of Instagram and Reddit thrown in there helps a lot. Because Twitter's, like I said, is a full time job. I would have to be doing, I'd have to ditch a couple of those things and just do Twitter if I did that.
yeah,
But YouTube is very important. Like if you look up Skyconic Wrestling on YouTube, not to take away from me, but she does a really good job at posting independent wrestlers matches from all these different companies, giving them views that they probably wouldn't, they might not have gotten if they were just sharing it to their friends and family on their Facebook, like, or their YouTube. Like this is, so I know that she's helped a lot of different wrestlers get booked elsewhere from her YouTube channel. And that's just one YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So social media is very important.
Definitely.
Yeah, finding one or two that works for you and dedicating a lot into that is probably one of the better ways to do it, instead of being like a little bit here and there everywhere, because then you're gonna get hacked or something.
yeah. We've had a few guys on here that have like mentioned that they wanted to wrestle somebody or mentioned something, and then a few weeks later, you lose me.
Okay, so you had guys on here that mentioned something.
What was that?
He mentions people on podcasts and wrestle a few weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they come on here, they mention it, and then a few weeks later, it would happen somewhere at an organization somewhere. So it's like that's how much we had to do with it. Probably minimal,
Right.
but it's cool to see.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd be surprised how minimal it is. Because honestly, sometimes it's all it takes. Because like, it's independent wrestling, so a lot of companies, they don't know exactly what's going on until the day of, and well, this guy's here, this match got messed up, so well, I know these people wanted to work each other, so bam, the match happens, and that happened because they knew they wanted to work each other because you guys,
Right,
are in places like this.
and
So,
promoters can see like how guys are and stuff. You come on here and they can see how serious you are, and you can almost sell yourself on here. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, the Young Bucks. This is something that when I first started out, I was never a big Young Bucks fan, but then as of wrestling, and then they won me over. They worked me for a few years, and they won me over.
They're still working. They're still working on winning me over.
Oh, but they're really smart professionally. Like the business end, man. Like they one of the things they said is they aren't. Like, they don't wrestle matches. Like, they have info. Like their matches are I forget exactly how they worded it, but their matches are their infomercials for their T-shirts. They're T-shirt salesmen, and their infomercials happen to be wrestling matches. And like, like I said, that's a little. I also respect the business, so that plus respect of the business is kind of like how it's true though. Like like. You can't just treat the business as a way to make money elsewhere. Like that's not it. But that's not what they're saying. Like they're saying like they draw tickets. They bring merch sales, not just for themselves, but for the promoter. More butts and seats buy their matches. Like that's their job is to get butts and seats. Their job is to sell T-shirts. Their job is that. So yeah, that's kind of I learned a lot from them. Sorry, my mouth is hurting.
Oh, I bet.
I bet, man.
I'm good.
Good? Okay. Who were some of the guys that when you were you a fan of wrestling when you was a kid? Or what got you into the business, and then who were some of the guys that you kind of maybe looked up to that have kind of helped you with your style?
Okay, so as a fan, I started watching wrestling when I was a little kid with my brother Justin during the Attitude Era. But I was born in '93, so I was a little baby, but a wee lad. Um, and then right after Eddie died and Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton were feuding, that's what brought me back in, like full time. Like ever since then, it was like recording it on my DVR. If I wasn't able to watch it, like I would always watch every single thing. Um, so Mick Foley. From Mick Foley, Mankind, especially I had his DVDs, so I watched that Hell in a Cell fall
He's just
over
talking
and
about
over and
that.
over again.
I just watched that yesterday or the day before. I watched that whole pay-per-view over.
Dude, it is just insane how like human beings are real life superheroes. Like we don't need comic books, we don't need cartoons. Like that's a real human being that looks like a normal person. Like he's not like some big buff guy with
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff in him. A normal human being that survived that and kept going, and then survived another fall and kept going. Like that is a superhero. Like that is what made me want to become a pro wrestler. People like Mick Foley. Like
And I still
that's-
remember watching that live on pay-per-view, and I'll never forget it.
I would have thought I was watching like a snuff film, like I was watching somebody die or something. If I saw that live, like after the fact, that like okay,
Yeah.
it's edited or something, but live, you don't know what's going on.
No,
That's just-
yeah. Me and Dad was watching on pay-per-view, and we're both looking like there was
What the
was
hell?
that supposed to happen, or because I mean,
yeah. Your dad's probably like, should we turn this off?
He's probably loving it.
no, I was gonna say, no, yeah. My dad, me and Dad were. Mom used to leave the house because when UFC first started, and before they had the weight classes or the gloves or anything, Dad used to get Dad would get the pay-per-views, and me and him would watch them. Mom would leave.
Like, nah, wipe my hands clean of that.
Yeah.
That was the other DVD I had was the UFC hardest knockouts.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
You see guys passing out. Oof.
But now that you're in the wrestling business, when you watch it, do you look at it differently than what you did before?
I can't stand head injuries or watching anything like that now. Yeah, like it makes me like I just feel sad. Like like it doesn't even like.
Technical difficulty.
No.
Can you hear us?
Oh, there we. I think we're
We
good
good?
now.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I can't. It's hard for me to watch head injuries now and like big like knockouts, like the gross knockouts. It's hard for me to watch those now. I appreciate them like as like the sportsmanship, but I still love MMA, UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, like the Impact. I still love the big hits, but it's now they make me just like I said sad. It's like oh no, that guy is gonna start shaking here in a few years or something. But nowadays they have a lot of measurements in hand to prevent that. So, but yeah, a lot of the old pay per view, like the old UFC ones, like the guy would be knocked out and they're still just
Oh yeah.
went.
Fuck yeah. That still happens sometimes today, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's times when we watch it, we'll be yelling at the TV, "Stop it! Stop
Like,
it!
Stop it, man.
He's
Shit.
already dead.
The dude is slumped.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
oh.
But then on the other hand, when they stop it fast,
Yeah.
we bitch about it. Yeah, you stopped it too quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like that, it was like a McGregor fight, or it was a big name fight, and it just ended after like boop boop.
Yeah.
Oh, it's over. Like no, he's fine. Like he was getting back up. Oh man, but yeah, Mick Foley because of the superhero stuff. But then my other favorite wrestlers growing up were AJ Styles. Because I just thought it was so cool that somebody could be that good and not like he did it his own way.
Yeah.
Like he didn't back in the day that there was an alternative, but it was WWE was way money wise. I'm not talking pro like obviously like I like the wrestling wise was top notch, but the just WWE like the pay wise like anybody to turn that down for Impact or TNA at the time, and he did it his way. I just respected that. And he's a natural talent, like so good. And then Jeff Hardy, gotta love Jeff Hardy. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
gotta love Jeff Hardy. So I feel so bad for what's going on with him right now. I hope it's, you know, I hope it's not. I hope it's not exactly what the media's saying. I'm hoping it's just a rough time in life, nothing too crazy. But
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy was one of my big influences.
We've heard
So,
that from a lot of the guys that we've interviewed. A lot of them a lot of them mention Jeff Hardy.
I mean, he looks like he did like he looked like some like he could achieve with like something like he wasn't he was obviously in shape and tall guy, but like he looked like my brother, big in shape guy. He wasn't some big huge buff,
Yeah.
guy made of circles. You know, like so that's why I loved him, man. I was like I could be like him, and I'm sure a lot of other people.
Yeah, he
Like
looked more like a normal person than these big, large
yeah, people need that.
Sting.
Yeah.
Watching we got the Monday Night Wars thing on WW Network playing, and they just showed Sting walking to the ring with his baseball bat and everything.
Yeah, baby face as heck. One of the best baby faces out there. But when it comes to my in-ring style, though, I do a lot of early days especially. It was a lot of Mr. Perfect, Dolph Ziggler style selling.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because you gotta, if you make other people's stuff look good, they want to work with you,
Yep.
So.
Well, and as a fan, even in the top promotions, they'll do it a lot. When a guy don't sell something, I'm like, no, come on, you got to make it look good. You get.
Because we're in a business like this, we're show business, yeah. So like, am I giving away too much talking like this? Like, or
Oh, you're good.
just making sure. I was like, should I be big whiskey? Yeah, but no, I'm like anybody that's like, yeah. I forgot. What was your question? Like, what were you saying? Like the topic? Because yeah, I got all worried that I was giving away like talking out of character too much.
Oh, you're good, man.
What did I say?
I can't.
I lost it too.
Bro.
Sorry,
It'll come
It
back
has
to
to
me.
do with Sting. I don't know.
No, it was about selling. It was about selling.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like yeah, that what you saying other promoters like
Well, just like you can watch AEW or WWE sometimes, and you'll see a little guy get just smoked by a big guy, and don't sell it at all. Just comes right back at the guy, and it's like, now come on now.
I know.
yeah, like it kind of it just ruins the believability of all that stuff. Like just kind of kills the business is what the old folks said. It just kills the business. Like
And that's one of the reasons I was a big Ric Flair fan. Was because all the other stuff he done, he sold stuff. It just the whole character, not just it's not about just what moves you do.
Right.
yeah, it's kind of like it's showing your ass is kind of the term is what I've been told. Like like I gotta not be afraid. Like we're like you say, there's you. That's what got me. We're show business, and so it's okay to be a character. Like everybody wants to be cool and like I'm a cool wrestler. I do cool moves. Yeah, we're cool. Like I said, we're real life superheroes, but at the same time, you got to be like I look dorky half the time. Like I'm getting beat up, for 3 minutes. I do one move, and that's it. Well, there's a reason why. It's because I'm making like that guy is gonna be the champion in a month, and so so don't have an ego and just do your job. And as a fan, if every single match is like I said, not selling, what's it matter? You need because so like if you do the Dolph Ziggler, Mr. Perfect style, bounce around like crazy, that's like a cartoon. That's like being a showman and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've kind of AJ styled it in the modern day though, and trying to keep it a little more realistic and MMA style selling, but very generous at the same time, just like Dolph Ziggler does.
I think that's why Kurt Angle was so great, because he didn't have an ego. He didn't care, he didn't care to look stupid and dorky and shit. And I feel like that's what made him so great, is that he was like this serious Olympic champ, but he didn't care to do, because there's so many times this dude
Well,
would have
he
you
didn't care to
crying,
make himself look like an ass. He
Yeah.
just went out there and done whatever.
Yeah, like give him like a little cowboy hat.
That's what I was just thinking of.
I know, that's what came to my head too, is him and the cowboy hat.
Him with that little cowboy hat and that guitar.
Yeah.
You can't have an ego, man.
It's all about entertaining. Like
Exactly.
Put mud seats, selling shirts, and giving people something to smile about. Like we live in a really rough world, and so get to be. I hate to use the term again, but real life superheroes, like it kind of gives people an alternative reality for a little while.
It gives you something to entertain you and get your mind off other things.
Wrestling is really good at that too. It's really wrestling's one of the things that
for for him,
helps.
he wasn't even like a diehard fan when he was a kid. He's still learning more about wrestling now.
The great thing is like everyone's experienced everything that is huge wrestling fans. It's like I'm watching it. Like I feel lucky because I get to watch a lot of this shit for the first time.
I mentioned this on the show the other day, so I will go ahead and say it again. He just realized that the Montreal screw job. He just found out about it a few weeks ago.
Was watching a whole story about it, but that's what I'm saying. Like I get to experience that shit for the first time, so it's amazing. But I'm still learning so much shit about it. But I was like, I know a lot of like the Stone Colds, Kane, Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
I watched some back in that era. But like now I'm really like into it. For the last year or so I've been really into it, man, and I'm catching up.
Yeah, but have you seen there's a lot of like hidden gems that you probably are gonna see for like the first time that is just gonna like blow your mind.
Blow my mind, man. I've already had a few that like I watched it was the Bret the Hitman Hart versus Owen Hart cage match, and I was like, this fucking match is so fucking good, dude. Like this is so good. Like how am I just now seeing this shit? But it was great, man. And there's so much more I gotta watch.
And then see, I was on the opposite side because my dad's always been a huge fan of wrestling. So like anytime they were around, if they were in Indianapolis, we were going. So I got to see like only person I didn't get to see back when I was growing up was Hulk Hogan, and that was because every time we were supposed to see him, he was hurt or something. When we'd get there and there'd be a sign on the window saying that he wasn't going to be there that night. You could either they refund you your ticket, but you're already there. So fuck, we went ahead and watched the show. But we got to see like what was it? Ended up changing the main event that night from Savage and Hogan to Savage and Beefcake.
No, that's a Hogan's buddy. You got Hogan's buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so that's cool. You got to see a lot of that stuff. Because I was kind of. It's weird. I never ever went to anything wrestling related, and I didn't realize that there's independent wrestling like within a 45-mile radius everywhere you are in the Midwest, like every weekend, basically.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that was ever an option, and I was a little poor growing up, so there's no way I could afford like going to WWE stuff. So yeah, I never went to anything either until I started wrestling, and then once I was training is when I finally started actually like going to stuff. But yeah, I followed it like you did, but I was a lot like you, where I never went to anything. Yeah. I didn't realize what it was like in person.
Yeah, we were some of the best matches I've ever seen though has been on the independent scene. Like when my son was growing up, me and my dad and him we'd go to independent shows all the time, and fuck, we'd see some of the better. I mean, you have a just as good a time, if not better time, just because of the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's more intimate, and then like the fans really care about like their independent wrestlers, like they get their individual people. They're wrestlers, they're when you have WWE fans or you're at a show, they're more for the WWE or the experience. Like, yeah, like the crowd just gets so invested in independent shows. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Completely different culture. Yeah.
We did a show in Kokomo a few weeks ago, and them fans there were pretty crazy, but it was a good time.
It was a great.
But we had little kids flipping us off, and
they were flipping off the wrestlers. And
tell the wrestlers to shut the fuck up. I mean, But it was.
Was that AACW?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think me or was supposed to wrestle Chris Owens there at one point. Well, yeah, I forget what happened. Like something didn't line up. COVID, I think maybe.
Yeah, we went down there and done live commentary and streamed it live.
Good place. That's probably was a lot of fun, like you said.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Because that building, I mean, it wasn't a real big building. It was basically standing room only, and I mean, it was a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, people getting rough and rowdy.
Oh yeah, and we and there was some pretty good matches in it too.
Oh
yeah. We got to see Brody Botkins there.
Ooh, that's a good guy. Yeah, they have a few good names there.
Yep.
So, what would be your like dream match, man? Like, if you could pick anybody, it could be past, present, independent, big time. What would be your dream match, 1-on-1? Who would you take?
I mean, like a realistic one would be Chuck Taylor. Like I want Chuck Taylor so bad. Like I'm wearing like a Converse style Jared Kripke t-shirt. I know it's a little different guy, but still. I love Chuck Taylor. Like he's influenced a lot of my wrestling style, and like he got me into independent wrestling. When I was a kid, I still didn't watch independent wrestling, but if I did, it was a Chuck Taylor match, because I loved his stuff. So like one that like actually could happen, if you guys know somebody that wants to put that on the line, I'll put that on the line even, against Chuck. I say I ain't scared. I think that would be a really fun match. Besides that, who's still going now? Like nowadays, obviously Jeff Hardy, of course, AJ Styles, my two favorite guys. I think Sammy Guevara, him and I could do some good stuff, some really, really fun stuff there. Gosh, who else? Dolph Ziggler. I know. I keep re-mentioning the same wrestlers, but I mean, there's a reason why I follow their styles because I like them so much. But Dolph Ziggler is another one I really want. I'd want to wrestle one day if that option ever came up.
What's your end game or goal in the wrestling business?
I want a full-time job. I want to be able to do this for a living, basically. If I have to wrestle the independents and pay the bills that way, I'll keep doing that. If I can get signed to AEW, WWE, Impact, OVW, MLW, wherever, I know that I'd bring a lot to the table to whoever, and like I said, I'm very unselfish, so like I'd be willing to do whatever, like whatsoever. Not willing to do whatever, like not like that. It's like I don't have an ego. Like if they needed a referee, like I'd be a referee. They needed a commentator, I'd be a commentator. They needed a wrestler, I'd wrestler. Ring announcer. Like that's what I mean by that. Like I think I have a lot to bring to the table as a wrestler. I think I'm a top shelf talent when it comes to wrestling, and it's not me. Like that's the confidence you kind of have as a wrestler. It's not me being like, "Oh, look at me."
Yeah,
it's just have to be. I have to have a little bit of confidence, and I think I have a lot to offer. But my end game, if in 10 years, if the wrestling doesn't pan out, I still want to do something like where this is my job, like making money wrestling somehow, because just being around the industry just is so amazing. The people you meet, the lifestyle, just all the different options. Like you guys got podcasts. I see a t-shirt there behind you. I have bracelets, t-shirts, stickers. Like I can make money. I've seen people do like the subscription services like Patreons and people monetizing their YouTubes, Twitch. I see people going to Twitch gaming. Like there's so many options when it comes to wrestling. So I don't know. my end game is to do wrestling full time somehow. Yeah. I think I got my every year I come up with a game plan. Like when I first started out, like I remember I mentioned the excursion thing. That was my 2017, 2018 goal, whatever, and I did it. I went all these companies. My next goal was to win championships at all of those companies, and I did it. And my next goal was to wrestle names, and I did it. And my next goal was to be on TV, and I did it. So now my next goal, like I normally don't say them out loud. I usually write them down and I don't post. I'm not one of those guys that makes like a Cody Rhodes list or anything. I do that, but I just don't post it because just in case something happens, But my goal this next year is Impact, AEW, NXT. I think I have a lot to offer as an employee, as a wrestler, especially as a wrestler. So I'm saying I have a lot to offer, and my goal this year is to prove that. And
to get in them companies, do you guys like send videos into them, or is it just them seeing something that you've done, or?
I don't know. I'm not there. You tell me how to get there.
Well, that's true too.
No, it's like one of the first things we talked about. It's like networking. You gotta send them, but then also it's you gotta send them a bunch of emails and videos, and you gotta have the good. You have to have good material to send them, and yeah. So I think I have some good matches. I got good footage. I need to work on my promos. I need to work on my size a little bit. Actually, this is a good angle right there. Yes. This is my 8x10, but I have some things I want to work on but usually it's about like that. You just send them. Every company has their own talent relations email. Once you get networked appropriately, eventually you'll get that email somehow. But it's networking.
We had a question here in the comment section. This is my dad. He said, what does he think of GCW?
Oh, Game Changer. Oh, they are so cool. I'm trying to think. I went to see Bloodsport with John Moxley and all that, and Davey Boy Smith. I got to watch all them in Indianapolis last year. GCW, they had a good thing going on. With Cole Radrick and Calvin Tankman, a couple of my good buddies. I would love to work for them one day. I'd either have to take some caffeine before or something because they go fast, they go hard in their matches, or I'd have to do some street fight stuff, bloody up. But kind of like we said earlier, if they're looking for something a little different on their card, I would be perfect for that because I'm not necessarily the bloodiest, like the most hardcore street fight guy. I can handle myself there, but I'm not known for that, and I'm not known for flippy, crazy athletics. I am athletic and I do flippy stuff, but I'm, so I think I'd be a good fit there to stand out. I think Matt Cardona is hilarious there. By the way, that is one of my favorite things that's happened in wrestling for the past couple of years. Like him getting pelted with the bottles and stuff. Oh, so funny. But they got a good thing going on. The GCW's got a good thing going on. If they use more of their local talent a little bit more, that'd be cool. But they got a good thing going with their roster currently. So who am I to critique? Yeah.
Like you mentioned, OVW, like you were there last night. When you go for that, you just show up and hope you get a spot? Because then you mentioned about getting a contract. How do they do that?
So they have their full-time roster members,
okay.
And then they have outside talent. I'm not 100% positive. I believe I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm outside talent, officially, technically, but they use me. I'm a regular member, so I'm not a full-time roster, but I'm a regular member of the TV. but yeah, that's kind of like they have contracts and the like independent contractors, so you can still work elsewhere, but probably, and I don't know specifics and all that kind of stuff, um, but how it works for me, yeah, is sorry, I messed it up. How it works for me is I was given an opportunity there once, and so far they keep giving me opportunities. Like I got like I'm.
You're doing something right if they keep having you back.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best each week now. No, exactly. I'm doing something right, and I've heard good things and good feedback. So I'm just hoping. That is my goal, though. Is I really want a full time OVW contract. Hopefully, and then hopefully that's achievable. And then who knows? I can move down to Louisville, work Southern Indiana, Kentucky a little bit more.
Have you just worked the Midwest around here, or?
Uh, I've gone as far as St. Louis, Columbus, Ohio, Michigan, like Niles, Michigan, Knox, Michigan, and then Chuckey, Tennessee. So and kind of like that whole area. So that's kind of like all those states, and then just random towns here and there, like basically everywhere in Indiana, like somewhere in each region somewhere. And then yeah, mainly Indiana, every region, and then just those towns that I mentioned elsewhere. Plus Orlando.
uh, how long have you been? How long have you been wrestling with the MPG?
Oh, so man, I think it's been 2 years, 2.5 years. Yeah, I started out there. Like they were kind of a smaller company, like a startup is what I call it. Like a startup, it's a guy that wanted to, bought a ring, wanted to have his own company, and kind of just building it from there. I was injured. Like I was already, or no, I don't know, how did this start? Yeah, AIWF. That's what it was. They were an AIWF affiliate. So despite being, like I said, startup with one guy, Tyler Kent, one guy, just force of will and drive and just the desire and love of pro wrestling driving him to make this happen. Being an AIWF affiliate, I was like, well, can I come in? I really want to prove to the AIWF what I got. And when I showed up there, he gave me a chance. Like I gave me I gave me a title match against the man. They're his main guy. My first match. I was like, oh, okay. That shows a lot of respect. As a professional, it's like I'm not just the pre-show.
Yeah.
No offense, pre-show, but I mean like, it was just really cool that he thought that of me. And then I got injured. I had to get like 10 stitches across my kneecap from a TLC match, and I was able to wrestle like. I wrestled Ace Austin with one leg. And Tyler gave me chances to wrestle even though I was injured. Like I needed to make money. Like, so what other promoter was going to give me a chance to make money while injured?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm professional. I can work around it. I'm old school, and so I didn't aggravate my injury. I keep going. So like that, like mutual respect there. That really was like, okay, I got if you need me for a show, I got you. If there was kind of mutual respect. And then he kept getting his little startup. He got booked at Pride Fest at IU in Bloomington, like a huge, like thousands of people event. So I'm like, okay. And then he got booked. Then he got Madman Fulton on a show, and I'm like, okay. And then we got we had Chris Masters, and okay. Then all of a sudden we're getting on Comic Con. Like he gets us booked on Comic Con this past year in Indianapolis. Like not just like no offense, but not Gen Con or like Comic Con. We got a big thing. So we got all 3 days, 8 shows. But like I said, this little thing I thought was a startup, all of a sudden, we're doing that, and then now we're bringing in Cowboy James Storm. Max Caster, Isaiah Moore, like all these big names. And yeah, I'm very very proud of what we've grown, because like yeah, him and I are one of the few people from the early days that have stuck around through everything.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say he spoke real highly of you yesterday. He was on our show yesterday. I don't know if you watched it, but he spoke real highly about you.
there's not there's no signal in the arena, so I'll have to watch it after this. But that's really nice of him. I'm very thankful, because he, like I said, he's one of those promoters that if you just look at me, some promoters might not give me a chance, and he was like, he watched me wrestle and was like, oh wait, this guy can wrestle, and gave me a chance based on that, and that means a lot to me. So I'm really proud of what he's accomplished as a promoter. Like, being able to get booked in all these places is just insane.
Like I said, I'm looking forward to this weekend to get to see the promotion for the first time, and
You'll like it. We're trying to grow the town of Bloomington. We're trying to grow it, make the crowd bigger and bigger each time. So this should be a good one this time. You'll like the show. Chase Stevens, the Natural, yeah. ABZ, me. Have you ever seen Josh Morris?
no.
Oh, Josh Morris is in here. Yeah, you're gonna love him, man. He's hilarious. Well, actually, you'll probably hate him. But yeah, because he's kind of like, he's such a douchebag. Oh my gosh, like he is. Oh gosh, yeah, he is just a loudmouth. Like he's like you know who Young Gravy is?
Yep.
Like a rapper, Young Gravy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like a younger Gravy.
Oh, God. You ever heard Young Gravy before?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you want to plug, or anything else you'd like to talk about before we go?
That's what I was saying. You got that match this Sunday with Cowboy James Storm and Younger Gravy, the saucy deputy jackass. Josh Morris. There he is. Josh Morris. I'm going to be wrestling him this Sunday. That's going to be such a good one to come out for. Cowboy James Storm, he's coming from. He said he wants my AIWF Midwest Heavyweight Championship. He wants to be the best in the Midwest, and no, that Cowboy
Whiskey ain't letting it happen.
No, ain't happening, man. Call his shots like a little better. He can't handle a shot of big whiskey. That's just too strong for him.
Sit him on his ass. You take a shot of big whiskey, you go sit on your ass after that.
Yeah. If he really wants a belt, like, he has one. He's got. Remember that? Like, he's got his little toy. Championship. Remember that, buddy? Like,
oh shit.
You got your toy. You already got your belt. You can probably keep playing with your toy, James Storm. I got my own belt.
Ooh.
I'll give this one. You keep playing with your little spinner beer drink. What is this called? The beer drinking champion. That's fine. You can't handle whiskey. That's all we learned from that.
Yep. Stick to his beer, man.
Yeah, stick to the beer and the toy. I got the real title belt. I got the real championship. I'm the real champion. Josh Morris can have his rap, have whatever he wants. Big Whiskey, Jared Kripke, he's gonna prove I'm top shelf talent this Sunday. That's for sure.
Hell yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to commentate it and watch the show, man. Watch my boy Big Whiskey put it on somebody. Hell yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I'm excited too. I don't need this one actually. I gotta need him. But how about a Big Whiskey championship?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got the Big Whiskey championship. There you go.
Fuck
yeah. I'll sign this for James Storm. He can keep this. He can have this one, but yeah.
Hell yeah. That's sick as fuck, dude. Big Whiskey.
Big Whiskey title, baby.
Let's go.
Are you wrestling anywhere else this weekend besides MPG?
I finally make my debut at WTF, Wrestling Theology Fellowship. I'm it's one of those companies that when I first started out. Oh, am I frozen?
Oh no, I was just laughing because that's you're talking about Saturday night in Fortville, right?
Yep.
We're gonna be there too.
We'll be there.
Yay!
Fuck yeah, dude.
So-
Oh, man, that's a party.
Oh,
Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
you guys are following me. We should just ride together. You know?
Might as
Pick me
well,
up.
shit.
yeah, as soon as you said WTF, I was like, wait a minute, we're gonna be at that one. We're gonna be at that one tomorrow.
Man,
We're gonna have
you
too
guys
much
are
whiskey
gonna-
this weekend, man. Too
Yeah,
much
I don't-
whiskey,
yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be hungover.
Yeah.
after all
Monday
this
we ain't gonna be able to get up.
And then, yeah, and you already know about next weekend in MPG, Saturday. I don't know if I should. Let me see if my match has been announced yet. 1 second. I don't wanna overstep boundaries.
I'm trying to think if I seen
Okay.
you. I can't remember now.
Oh, I don't see it. Yeah, so I don't see it posted. But really good match coming this next Saturday. That's gonna defend against. I'm gonna defend my interstate Hoosier title for BMFX, and then the day after, I have a really good match at Warrior Pro. I believe that's near Indianapolis. You guys gonna be there?
No,
We'll be at that one.
I do. I've heard of Warrior Pro, and I'm wanting to go to one of their shows, but I'm actually going to watch the new Spider-Man movie on that day with my son.
No way! Is that? Oh, that is next week. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Hey, Austin ain't missing that.
It comes out, I think, on the 18th, but he's coming down to the wrestling show with us, so we're gonna wait and go to the movie on Sunday so we can all go together. But
Man,
we're
I
bringing
love
we're bringing him down to the wrestling show with us next week.
Well, that's awesome, man. Hopefully he'll like it. He'll like the Lafayette show.
Oh yeah.
Besides that, I got I mean that's mostly all I got. All that. Next year, I got shows for MPG, BMFX, Crash Tested Wrestling up in Lake Station. I'm their Destiny champion, inaugural Destiny champion, like we were talking about. And then Journey down in Martinsville, Journey Championship Wrestling. I'm their tag team champion there with the Euchre Club. Excalibur, really good talent, Excalibur. Him and I are the tag team champs. So those companies, and then that's where you should be looking out for me at OVW whenever you guys, whoever's in that comment section, I'm not on Twitter, so get on. I am a little bit, but make sure to tag my profile, tag OVW, tell them to book me, tell them. You know how this biz works.
Are you at OVW this week?
It's the last live show of the year. I'll be there. I don't know if I'll be on the show, but I'll be there. So, fingers crossed. And you never know what to expect with pro wrestling. So,
Well,
who knows?
when I get home from wrestling practice Thursday, I'll turn it on so I can see if you're going to be wrestling or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what I did last night. As soon as I got home from wrestling practice, I turned it on. But all I got to see was mainly toward the end of it.
See, Kripke brings in viewers, guys. See?
Damn straight.
Oh yeah,
Damn
well
straight.
my dad, he's a big fan, and he'd been asking because he said, "Man, that Kripke's everywhere." He said, "We need to go see him." He goes, "I'm seeing him wrestle everywhere," and I didn't realize that you were going to be on all three shows the next three shows we're going to. So that worked out pretty good.
Wild. Like that is pretty wild how that works out.
That works out good.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
But all right,
man.
I got to get off here, but because I got to go pick up my son. But I would love to have you back on the show sometime if you want to come on.
Whenever. If you guys ever want to talk about the biz, talk about talk about the past and the history of the biz, that kind of stuff. I'm all for it, man. I feel like I talked about myself the whole time. I feel bad.
Hey, that's what it's about,
Hey.
man. That's why we got you on here, brother.
Hey, we do live watch-alongs with some of the pay-per-views. Maybe we get you do one of the live watch-alongs with us.
Oh, I'd be down. Let's watch Unforgiven. I don't know if you've seen that Mick Foley Randy Orton match, so let's watch that Unforgiven pay-per-view or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
Definitely.
Yeah, let's do it.
I love those titles, dude.
I love it, dude. It's fucking awesome.
This is as close as James Storm and Josh Morris is getting to,
Yeah, they could look through the video. That's about it.
All right, you got anything else, Steve, before we go?
Nah, man, just appreciate Kripke coming in,
Oh, yeah.
man, hanging out, man, doing his thing. Big whiskey. Hey, y'all better tune in, man. Better check him out.
We'll see you down there tomorrow. If you have time or something, you're more welcome. You can always come over and jump on commentary for a few or something.
All right, then I'll be talking.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how much it'll make sense, but I'll be talking that crap. Yeah.
Hey, that'll work.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'll see you for the next few shows, bud. We see you the next few shows, bud.
All right, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks for having Big Whiskey on, man.
Big whiskey.
Hey, everybody, go to on Sunday. Well, actually, go to the WTF tomorrow night, but on Sunday, go to MPG as well. Both of them have real good cards for this weekend. All right, man. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
Big
Anytime.
whiskey.
Have a good one, bud. Thank you again.
All right, I want to thank everybody for joining. Don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern with Easy Money, a sports betting show, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're also live at 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That is with the G.W.R. Gonzo Sports Room. That's also live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find both of those shows in podcast form: Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us. Don't forget, check out our merch store, streamlabs.com/Gonzalez Sports/merch. That wasn't I didn't want you to forget, but it just popped in my head. But we got t-shirts, hats, a lot of different things on there. But no, I was going to tell you not to forget. Tomorrow, go to WTF in Fortville. Let's pack the house for that. And then again for Sunday for MPG. But starting next Sunday, next Sunday 9 a.m. we will drop our new G.W.R. weekly podcast YouTube show. It's going to be we're going to do one show a week. We'll record on Saturdays, and it'll drop. We'll release it Sunday morning at 9. So not this Sunday, but next Sunday the 19th is going to be the premiere episode. So keep your eye out for that. I'll be making a graphic to advertise it, but it's just the wrestling's getting popular. G.W.R. we do a lot of live interviews and a lot of live shows, and we decided let's do it. And on that podcast we'll talk all pro wrestling. We'll talk WWE. We'll talk AEW. We'll talk independent stuff. It's not just going to be like one area of wrestling. We'll talk fucking everything.
Oh yeah. Classic shit.
But we'll drop that first episode, and we're still going to still be having the guests in like this and doing the interviews. So nothing's really going to change that much. Just that we're going to have another show that drops each week, and we're going to try to do the wrestling interviews more like on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. That way our sports show at 1 o'clock on Monday, Wednesday, Friday doesn't get just taken over with the wrestling stuff. So that way we have stuff for the sports fans and for the pro wrestling fans. You know what I mean, Steve?
Hell yeah. Yeah, definitely. Gotta give everybody gotta give the people what they want, man. You know what I'm saying?
But we appreciate everybody joining us. Appreciate Jared Kripke for joining us. That was a great conversation.
Hell yeah.
Would love to have him back
He's
on.
a cool dude.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to getting to meet him in person tomorrow.
Yep.
But all right. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, big announcement tomorrow at 5 o'clock on our channel.
Look, I'm Jared Kripke.
On our channel, tune in. 5 o'clock tomorrow, we have a big announcement. So make sure you tune in to YouTube and Twitch, to our YouTube and Twitch accounts for a big announcement tomorrow. We'll have a good weekend. Peace.